By request, Monster Magnet, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead. Before that, Exerbia, 5 Questions for Nature. Hey, you know what you should do? You should subscribe to Exerbia on YouTube because he's always making really cool shit like that. I'm just saying. You probably should subscribe. Go to YouTube, subscribe. It's good shit. Kenny Loggins, Danger Zone, Courtney Barnett, Sunday Roast. We started that off with Pushing Up Roses, her second part to her top 11 retro adventure games. Hey, you know what you should follow also is Pushing Up Roses' channel, because he's also kind of awesome. I'm just saying. Maybe you should. Oh, it's Monday night, Radio Dead Air, KRDA. My camera's off kilter. I wonder how that happened, Grady. I wonder how the camera got knocked off kilter and the lights are showing. I wonder how that happened, buddy. Huh? How did that happen, you little furry nitwit? Still taking requests. Somebody want to hear, send it to requests at radiodeadair.com. Okay. Deadpool 2. Yes, I'm not going to spoil it. Calm thy tits. Calm your tits. Your tits, calm them. Calm thy tits. So, where do we start? The action sequences are great. I'm not going to lie. They're not quite the same as the first one, but we have a new director, so obviously that makes sense. Still, one of the hard things about these kind of movies is making the action scenes not turn into just a jumble of super fast images that you can't follow. Film's a visual medium. You're supposed to be conveying a story through the images, and when the action scenes go you lose what they're trying to convey. Well, Deadpool 2 does a superb job with that. I could follow every single thing going on in the action sequences. And yeah, and they look fantastic. Again, it's not the same as the first one, new people, but it still looks great. So if you like action, if you like well shot, well presented action, there you go. Nobody's a bad actor. Performances are all pretty good. Josh Brolin had a hard time here. Not that he did a bad job, but as Cable, he's stuck in the straight man role. And if you ask anyone who does any sort of comedy, the straight man role is always the harder part because you have to be the setup for the comedy. And it's difficult because everything depends on you. They're playing off you. Especially if you're the more out there thing, they're playing. You have to play off someone else. So Josh Brolin, really good straight man. He does a good job. Now let's get into this. It's not a bad movie. I'll say that. This is not horrible. I did not suffer through Deadpool 2. I did not sit there going, oh God, is it over now? No. Yeah, it was entertaining at points. But I will say one of the things that stood out to me after I finished watching it was I realized I didn't laugh out loud once. I didn't even chuckle, really. The jokes just sort of washed over me. And they were done. Nothing was really witty. Nothing was really surprising or insightful. Nothing really subverted my expectations. Nothing snapped. Which, that's not good. The first Deadpool, there were a lot of moments I just didn't see coming from a movie like this. Which was part of the big strength of the first Deadpool film. They were the first ones to get there with an actual superhero property that was well known and translated it to the screen with the same sort of subversive attitude of the comic. They got there first, and they did great. I was really impressed. But the first Deadpool movie was also hungry. It had not so much to work with, but everyone involved, you could tell, top to bottom, wanted to make Deadpool happen. And they wanted to make Deadpool happen the right way. And they wanted to convey everything that the character had on screen. It was love. And just, they wanted to do it right. And they were anxious for it. And they were enthusiastic for it. And that just came across in every aspect of the first Deadpool. And that's part of what made it work. You went along with them for the ride. You rooted for them. You wanted this to work. And they knew you wanted it to work, and they wanted it to work, and everybody was in it together. It was like teamwork. The audience and the filmmakers were like, come on, we're going to do this. And you were like, yeah, let's fucking do this. Why not? Exactly, why not? Why can't we make a Deadpool movie? I don't know. I'll watch it. Okay. So everyone was on board. Especially the fans. Fans were really on board with it. Deadpool 2 is not hungry anymore. In fact, if the best thing I could say about it is it's self-satisfied. It got to where it was going, and it's like, okay, cruise control. We don't have to really make... The irony of it is the maximum effort line. Maximum effort! Yeah, that's what they're doing for Deadpool 2. No big surprises. No really standout moments. In fact, there's too much going on in Deadpool 2. There's way too much. I can't explain that without spoiling stuff for you. But there's just so much. I talked about this on Twitter a little bit. It doesn't take enough time to get us invested in anything going on to make the jokes someplace we're going to follow. Because a lot of these take some setup, and we're not invested enough to give a shit. So it failed. The comedy fails. And when they do try to make the drama stuff go on, so much crazy shit is being thrown out there. Snap, snap, snap. Rapid fucking fire. It's like, come on, here's a message. Let's care. And you're like, why? You don't. Not saying they don't care about the film they made. They weren't slacking here. It was the script and the story they were trying to tell. And they didn't care about it in the comedy way, and they didn't care about it in the drama way. They just sort of threw everything at the wall. Deadpool 2 feels like 20 Funny or Die Deadpool sketches stitched together with a thin, like fishing line thread. Just, you can't even see it unless you're really close. Stitched together. And it's scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to moment. It's like, once a scene is over, the bit is over. You can just put that aside. We're moving on to a new bit now. Forget about that bit. We're doing a new bit now. Here's the bit. Okay, the bit's done. Now let's put that one aside, move on. And that kind of structure to it, it fails. Again, it's not terrible. It's enjoyable enough to watch. The performances are good. I had fun with it. You know, I didn't feel like, oh God, fucker, give me my money back. I've seen movies. You've all seen movies like that. It was like, can you take this shit back out of my brain? I'll pay you to take the movie out. I'll pay you again to make me not have seen this movie. Can you do that? That was not this. I didn't feel that way about Deadpool 2. But also just didn't click. It didn't have the first movie was very simplistic. And I'm not saying it was simple. I'm saying the structure-wise, it was streamlined. It was razor sharp. We had here. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the goal. It's big neon letters. Everything is outlined. And we're just going to tack on comedy on top of it. And we're going to make it work. And that simplicity helped it along. Really, because, you know, things in the end of Deadpool felt connected back to the stuff in the beginning of Deadpool. It felt like there was something beginning to end. Deadpool 2 just moves at light speed. Bit to bit to bit to bit to bit. And I can't explain any more about that because we're going to get into spoilers, but stuff that happens before the credits, then there's stuff that happens immediately after the credits, then there's another scene, and those scenes go by so fast, we don't give any time to live in them. No time to live in them. We're just like, we're done with this part. Now we're here. Forget that part. Doesn't even matter. Forget it. We're here now. So forget that part. Okay? And they didn't ruin it. It was, I'll tell you, let's put it this way. Do you remember the Celine Dion Deadpool music video? That made me laugh harder than Deadpool 2, the movie. Because at least with that, there was a clear thread, still some room to subvert something. I have never really seen the power ballad movie videos of the 90s subverted quite so well as that Celine Dion one. It played it just perfect. I laughed a lot harder at that than I did at Deadpool 2. It just, I felt a great deal of disappointment coming out of Deadpool 2. Not that it was, oh God, I wasted my money. It was, wow, this could have been so much better. This felt like coasting. Yeah, I think that's the best criticism here. Deadpool 2 coasts. It is on cruise control. They're not really, they just like, we're going to make a movie. Deadpool 2? Okay, sure, whatever, let's do it. And I suspect had not the first Deadpool been such a hit, such a phenomenon, it tapped into something and did it so well, this would not have been quite as bad of a disappointment for me. There are some things you're not expecting, but not in terms of jokes, in terms of stuff they just kept hidden really well, so I'm not going to spoil some things. And I will give them credit for that. There were some things in the movie that happened, and things, yeah, I'm not going to spoil any of it, because they kept it under wraps well enough that I'm a little impressed. It's hard to do that these days. So, credit due there, but it just, if you go in expecting to be blown away like you were at the first Deadpool, they're just not making that much of an effort. Sorry. You still might want to see it. It's not going to be a waste of your time. It's worth seeing, but it's not on Deadpool 1's level. It just isn't. And you have to stay after the credits. And I say this not because they're setting up for another movie after the credits. I'm saying the movie continues after the credits. There's like an important plot thing that happens after the credits that the filmmakers have confirmed is canon. And I'm not going to talk about it because it's spoilers, but yeah, if you want to you have to continue watching after the credits to see the whole movie. So be aware of that. Did I convey it well enough without spoiling shit? Did I do a good job? Do I get a cookie? Is everything good? Yeah. Okay. How about some Isle of Rangoon? That sounds like a plan to me. Let's do that. Here we go. Radio Dead Air.
Oh, wow. What an amazing weekend.